Buddy, happy Monday. We are live, hopefully, with a newfangled and better working internet connection. I did some ghetto shit to make the internet better down here in the studio. So, hopefully, that's going to work nice. Um, just getting set up to start prep work here on Goku and Shenron. So I'm going to do a quick little audio check here. Make sure everything sounds good. Check one. Just getting set up to start prep work here. Yep, sounds good. Let's get our camera positioned a little bit. So this is essentially a lot of the tools, or most of the tools, I'm going to be using to do the prep work here. We're going to be... Oh, you're welcome, babe. All done? Okay. So, where to start? Basically, we have this whole print here, which is, if you buy a print or you print them yourself, once you're done developing all the resin and cleaning it, putting it through its alcohol bath and all that fun business, you've got a piece that's mocked up, partially ready to paint. What do you do with it? Well, there's a lot to do with it. And for any of you guys that are thinking about getting into 3D printing in SLA, which is stereolithography printing, resin printing, this is part of the process. When you finish a model, you've got to pull supports off. You've got some sanding to do, but nothing like what you have to do with fixed depositional modeling or FDM printing. And so I'm going to kind of run you through that. This is a commission piece that was ordered from a client for his son-in-law. And so I am starting work on this today. The goal is to... Oh, Zach, I thought that was already set up, dude. It's all good, man. Zach is here. Yeah, no, dude, it's all good, man. I'm honestly not worried about it. Hopefully your wife is cool with having it up on display in the house for now. I guess it could be a little uncomfortable with family coming over or something like that. Aside from that, Zach, how have you been, man? Zach was the winner of Spider-Gwen through HobbyLink International. He was the lucky drawing winner, so he is in care of Spider-Gwen, and I guess the comic book store that Spider-Gwen is going to reside in is under construction right now, and he can't get in touch with them, as you can see in the chat there. Big Boobs McGee, that's right, dude. Yeah, Abe. It's funny, Abe 3D. They seem to be kind of notorious for printing their female models with very large breasticles, and I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm a boob guy though, so I'm totally okay with that. To be more accurate, I think I'm just a woman guy in general. I don't really care, as long as they got a cool head on their shoulders. And I mean, I shouldn't say I don't care. We all have our standards, I guess we could say. But yeah, Big Boobs McGee. So, anyways, I'm starting on this commission piece, and I'm not going to need this for a while. But kids, if you're sanding resin, I gotta say it. Do as I say, not as you might see me do. But definitely wear a mask. Um, you don't want to breathe this stuff. I don't care if it's water washable resin or whatever. You don't want to breathe it. So have a good mask ready to go and whatnot. So the first thing I'm gonna do. Um, I've done my mock-up, so I've got a general idea of how all of this goes together. And bear with me here. I am thirsty. So Zach, you gonna hang out with us for a little bit today? Hang out with me for a little bit. I'm just working on starting this commission piece for a client, and I thought I would take the opportunity to share with people the process of once you've got it washed off and prepped for prep. um, I decided it'd be cool to kind of go through the whole process with everyone and just live stream it instead of doing a produced video, because I have had a lot of requests from subscribers to do more long form videos so everybody can see the real step by step instead of just like a quick cut of everything. So that's what I'm working on here. So for me personally, I always like to do the base first. So I'm going to take him apart carefully, and we're going to set his body parts aside for now and break it down to just the base. And that's what we're going to start concentrating on to begin with. This is a free STL that you can get on Cults. If you search for Dragon Ball Goku with Dragon, the file's free. I believe it was designed by. I know it starts with the number 4. I can't remember right off the bat, but number 4 starts off. And I guess Zach's gone. Okay, that's cool. Well, hi Zach. Goodbye, Zach. So yeah, free model, which I thought was really cool. For the most part, let's change the camera angle a little bit so I can more easily show this as we go along. So you can see after printing, there's still some supports here, and those need to come off. They come off rather easily. This part has been developed already. I've already put it through the curing process. It's been cured, I should say. So this is not wet resin by any stretch. And so what I like to do is just start going through and removing all these supports. You want to have a nice fresh blade on your X-Acto knife. And so, yeah, we just want to go through and remove all the supports we can find. Get rid of those. Since this piece has been cured already, resin's pretty brittle. Once it's cured, at least this particular resin is. There are resins that are flexible, but in this case, it's pretty brittle. So once it's cured, the little supports and stuff that you find around it, I find my personal preference is to do it this way because the supports just kind of break off real nice and clean, real easy. Everybody has their preference though. And also, before we start sanding, I'm going to be filling in these drainage holes, which is another byproduct of printing with SLAs. You're going to have drainage holes if you do it right. Um, those drainage holes are to not only allow resin to drain out of the model as it's printing, but also to help remove suction from to remove the possibility of suction from happening on your release film. If suction develops, you can look this stuff up on YouTube if you want to know what I'm talking about when it comes to suction and everything and why that occurs. I don't really care to explain all of that right now. But suction can occur, and you don't want that to happen. And so you have to add drainage holes to your files. You know, when you put them up on your slicer, you need to add drainage holes. In some cases, you can be creative with them. Like in this case, I added drain holes. Since he printed right side up this way, I added drainage holes in his nostrils, and then the back of his head, and then also a couple on his antlers. I'm gonna need some compressed air. There's some supports hiding down inside here that I need to get out of there in order for the model to fit properly. Okay. And as I go about this too, I'm also going to be showing you guys some tools that I use that I like, that, you know, make my life a little easier when it comes to getting these guys prepped for paint. I try to get in and get rid of as many supports as I can find on a model before I start painting, but it's inevitable. Sometimes you're just going to miss some until you get paint on it and you start painting, and then you realize, like, oh shit, I left a support on there. Believe it or not, I'm trying to do this without cutting myself. Just a little disclaimer, I may or may not do things on my channel sometimes that could get me hurt. If you try to replicate any of the techniques or do anything with the tools that you see me doing and you get hurt, that's on you, not me. Just so you know. All right. So we got that part pretty well cleaned up, I think, from all... Nope. See, I'm already missing supports. I also find that having like a can of compressed air around is nice for stuff like that. Sometimes you'll clip a support off and it'll fall down in there, and if you got a little can of compressed air, you can zap it and blow it right on out of there. All right, that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to do one piece at a time as we go along here. And we're starting with the head. Now, for UV putty, I like to use Fun Creecall. They make a really good putty in a small tin. It's a little on the expensive side, but it does work really well. And then another UV putty I recently discovered is this UV putty by a company called Colad. I can put the link in the description from Amazon for you, um, which I will do. I'll try to recall all the gear that I use here and put links in the description if you'd like to try anything out. So anyway, I recently tried this stuff and I was really happy with the results, the way it works. Some of you maybe have heard about the UV resin or printer resin, like if you mix printer resin with baby powder. I would say this is pretty close to it. Like if I've never tried it, but I'm assuming that if I mixed baby powder with resin, that this is about the consistency it would be. And when I read the reviews and shit on Amazon for this, um, well, one, I think it's made for automotive. I don't think it was necessarily intended for 3D printing projects. However, I noticed that a lot of modelers used it. And as I was going through the reviews, I noticed that a lot of people, the complaints and stuff, the negative reviews came from people, I think that, 99, I feel like 99% of the time, the reviews on Amazon for a product being bad or not doing what it's supposed to do, a lot of times it's user error. And in this case, I think it was. They were saying that like the shelf life on this stuff was really short. And I disagree. Um, the reason why I disagree is because I haven't had any problems with it, but a lot of people complain that the stuff separated. And it does separate in the bottle. But as you saw before I opened it, I manipulated or squeezed the bottle a bunch to basically mix the elements together inside. There's a lot of binders and polymers and different shit going on in resin, and you gotta you gotta you gotta mix that stuff up, just like any resin you use for your 3D printer. You always have to shake the bottle first. This stuff's the same. You got to kind of mix it a little bit. So I'm just kind of messy putting that on there. And yeah, I should be wearing a glove for this stuff. I didn't see any like gnarly toxic warnings on here, but we're going to use a glove anyways, just for fun. In fact, I'm going to wear two gloves. Just went over to my glove station. That's really slow in the chat today. I'd assume everybody's at work, but that's all right. And so, again, this is a UV putty. And it's thick enough to sculpt with. Like, you can see me moving it around here. And I'm just going to kind of shape these antlers with my fingers. So I don't think I need to get crazy with it or anything like that. So there's one. I think that looks good for the other one. And any part that doesn't look really quite right or something afterwards, This stuff does sand really well with just a mild grit sandpaper. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and then you're going to take your UV light. You can put it out in the sun, whatever. Um, I've got two different UV lights that I use. This one I got on Amazon for, I don't know, $15 or something like that. It's really cheap. This stuff does develop very, very fast. And it pretty much, it's rock hard in a couple of seconds. All right. I think that looks pretty good. And now okay, so a little slow the speed down on the Dremel a little bit. I'm just going to go in and clean up some of these edges and just do a real light sanding here. You can see there's kind of a bump there on the antler right here. So we're just going to sand that off real quick. Clean up some of those little support bumps. This bit that I'm using on my Dremel, this one's pretty used, but this is the bit, and I got it on Amazon for like a whole box of these things. I think it was like 100 count, like $9. It's really cheap, and they work great for taking like support bumps and stuff like that off your models. Highly recommend them. And I will also post a link for those in the description. I don't like this song that's playing right now. I don't know why. It's not my jam right now. Whoa, careful with that. And if you have any questions about anything I'm using or the way I'm doing things, definitely feel free to ask in the chat. And if you could be so kind, definitely please leave a like. I highly appreciate the help with the algorithm there. Even if you're just dropping in to hang out for a minute and see what I'm up to, please hit that like button. I really, really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you. So the back of his head we're not going to see at all, but I'm just going to clean it up a little bit here because it just makes the key fit that much better. I will say whoever designed this STL did a fantastic job with the design work. I highly recommend it. And I mean, shit, it was free. How can you beat that? So this key back here, this key isn't fitting too well. And generally, I would say we'll probably just take a Dremel and sand it down to narrow it off. You see these like little support bumps here. Those little bumps will get in the way and it'll make it so the key doesn't fit very well. This is the female side of the key. This is the male side of the key right here. So we'll refer to it that way. So now that I've got this guy sanded down, I just want to see how he's fitting in the neck. It's pretty good, but we've got to get down a little further. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to this. So we're going to switch out the bit on the Dremel tool to something that I'm going to go with a drum sander. And that'll take it down quite a bit faster. And just put a nice rough bit on there. Clean that. Hey, Jen, what's up, girl? I am cleaning this dragon. And so off camera, I'm going to use this bit, and we're going to just sand this key down real quick so that it'll fit. Probably should increase the speed on my Dremel. That's better. Got the day off today, Jen? All right, so I'm not trying to make it perfect. Hey, Jerry, what's up? I think Zach might have left the building. That's all right. Now let's see how we're fitting. Still not fitting very well at all. Do I have it correct? I do not need anything to be difficult with me today. As soon as I say that, shit starts falling from the sky. Okay, I think I see what's happening here. Yeah, it definitely doesn't go like that. Okay, so the key, it's not fitting into this section back here on his neck, so I'm going to widen that portion out with the Dremel, see if we can't get a better fit. still. Bastard. Okay. Getting there. So it's like this edge is still catching. You can see how I'm shaping this with the drum sander. It's actually gone into the head a little bit. But we're getting warmer. Well, they really didn't key that portion very well, did they? Either that or there was some pretty serious warpage going on during the printing. Okay, the underside's fitting well. It's still just cutting in right here. Jen, after giving it further thought, I'm starting to sway towards no blaster bolt explosions. No, the key's not too long that I can tell. It's just the way it's fitting. You know, fucking, maybe it is. I mean, let's just cut some of it off anyways, or grind it off. Okay. Nope, still fucking cutting in. I got an idea. Oh, the key's all fucked up. The key was born with its own hypospadia. If you don't know what that is, kids, feel free to Google it. Time to cut this motherfucker off. Bye. People are out there Googling hypospadia now. I'm not going to tell you how to spell it. Whoa, what the hell? Oh, that's not good. let's see, I need a Phillips head screwdriver, a little bitty tiny one. If you got a good little hypostadia, then somebody wasn't paying attention to anatomy. There we go. All right. Now let's see how we go. Still being a dick. So I need to remove a little bit of that. Oh, we're just about there. All right. I think we're there. Pretty happy with that. Okay. Sweet. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, y'all, if you haven't done it already. I appreciate you. We are soon to celebrate our 450 subscriber milestone, which I'm pretty excited about. Said it before, I'll say it again. I got into this whole YouTube thing thinking, well, one, to agree with friends and family, said I should do it, but also, I mean, I figured I'd be lucky to have 3 or 4 subscribers. And lo and behold, we're sitting on almost 500. So I'm really, really thankful for everyone subscribing to the channel and taking their time off, your precious time, to hang out and watch some of this craziness. Yeah. Really not a hell of a lot of prep to do with this dragon. Like, this is well done. So these are some drainage holes. I had to orient the dragon in my printer like this. That was the only way it would fit on the build plate, you know, without cutting it. I printed this on my Anycubic Photon Max, so fortunately I was able to get the whole piece printed. But because it prints upside down and you've got all this resin, I got my drainage holes here to prevent suction and stuff. but I also had to put some drainage holes in the spines to allow the resin to drain out as it was printing, because it comes out upside down when it's done. And yeah, so we're going to fill these in real quick and give them a quick sanding job, and then just going over the body. It looks like we've got a slight layer shift line right here, which will be really easy to remove. And it should have a partner. Yeah, another slight shift right here. So we'll be sanding that down as well. For now, let's go ahead and set this aside because it's kind of in the way, but we'll get there. Okay, now let me catch up with the chat here real quick. Hold on one second. I have a goal this week to this commission is going to be finished by Sunday. I'm giving myself till Sunday to finish it. So, all right, let's get to the chat. Let's see. Okay, Jen's working. Still got me on the side. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Hello, Jerry, of course, again. The key was too long, misshapen, and fucking whatever else, but one way or other it didn't fit. And now the key is non-existent and it fits. If it fits, it sits. Okay, as I was telling everyone earlier, the putty I'm using is this fast curing UV putty. Fine. I don't know what their rough stuff looks like or whatever they call it, but I thought I'd try this stuff out, and so far I freaking love it. And as I stated earlier, just ignore the negative reviews on Amazon. I think 99% of those reviews that were complaining about the product were due to user error, just not using the product properly or caring for it properly. As long as you do that, it lasts just fine. I have 452 subscribers. Oh shit. That means my subscriber count went up by 2. That's wild. Okay, well, thank you. Whoever subscribed, cheers to you. Oh, I gotta clean off my phone screen here. Bear with me a second. Oh, I forgot to ask. How is my signal? I'm curious to know. Is it buffering at all? Is it doing anything weird that it shouldn't do? What do you think, Jerry? How's my video looking? Oh, is my mic disconnected? Hopefully that's better. I just plugged it back in. Do a mic check here on my side.